Remember when Halloween wasn't all about store-bought costumes and mass-produced candy? In the 1970s, Halloween was a different beast altogether. Get ready for a nostalgic journey through time. Number 1. Pillowcase Trick-or-treating adventures. Speaking of candy, the vessels for carrying those sweet Halloween treats have changed dramatically since the 70s. Remember pillowcases? They were more than just bedding on October 31st. What made them the perfect trick-or-treat bag, and why don't we see them anymore? Back in the day, kids would grab their pillowcases and hit the streets for a night of trick-or-treating. These makeshift candy bags were practical, durable, and could hold an impressive amount of treats. Imagine the excitement of returning home, struggling to carry a pillowcase so full it was almost bursting at the seams. The pillowcase tradition wasn't just about convenience, it reflected the trusting nature of 70s communities. Parents felt comfortable letting their children roam the neighborhood, collecting candy from house to house. It was a time when Halloween was less commercialized and more about community spirit. Number 2. Crafting homemade Halloween costumes. While store-bought bags replaced pillowcases, another Halloween staple was also fading away. Remember when your costume wasn't just picked off a shelf? In the 70s, Halloween outfits were a family affair, with creativity trumping convenience. What sparked this DIY costume craze, and why did it vanish? Picture this: Mom's old dress becoming a princess gown, Dad's cardboard boxes transforming into a robot suit, or a bedsheet turning into a ghost with just a pair of scissors. These weren't just costumes, they were family projects that brought everyone together in a flurry of creativity and laughter. Number 3. Iconic trick-or-treat prizes. While homemade costumes showcased creativity, the treats of the 70s were just as unique. Imagine a Halloween where candy wasn't the star of the show. What else filled those trick-or-treat bags? And why did these traditions vanish? Back in the day, your Halloween haul was a treasure trove of surprises. Sure, you'd get some candy, but that was just the beginning. Many houses handed out small toys, shiny coins, or even homemade treats. Remember the excitement of biting into a caramel apple or unwrapping a popcorn ball? This variety wasn't just fun. It reflected Halloween's roots as a harvest festival. Seasonal fruits like apples and pumpkins were common gifts, connecting the holiday to its agricultural past. Number 4. Trick-or-treating. The rise of candy wasn't the only change haunting Halloween. Did you know that trick-or-treating once played a much bigger role in bringing communities together? There's a heartwarming story behind how this tradition became a family affair in the 1970s. Trick-or-treating as we know it today started taking shape in the 1950s, but it wasn't until the 70s that it really became a family-centered event. Imagine entire families spending hours walking through their neighborhoods together, knocking on doors and collecting treats. It wasn't just about the candy, it was about strengthening community bonds. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Number 5. Apple bobbing. While trick-or-treating brought communities together, another Halloween tradition tested friendships in the most hilarious way. Picture this: a tub of water, floating apples, and a room full of people determined to catch them using only their teeth. Sound familiar? This messy game was none other than apple bobbing, a staple at 1970s Halloween parties. The setup was simple: fill a large tub with water, toss in some apples, and let the fun begin. Participants would take turns trying to snag an apple with their mouths, hands firmly behind their backs. It was a recipe for laughter, splashing, and plenty of wet faces. But apple bobbing wasn't just a random party game. Its roots stretch back to the mid-19th century when it was actually associated with matchmaking. Young, unmarried folks would compete to bite into an apple, with the winner supposedly next in line for marriage. Talk about high stakes. Number 6. The razor blade scare. While apple bobbing was all fun and games, a darker tale was brewing. Ever wonder why your parents insist on inspecting your Halloween candy? It all started with a chilling rumor in 1970 that sent shockwaves through America's Halloween traditions. Picture this: a New York Times op-ed suggests that strangers might be poisoning Halloween treats. Suddenly, the innocent act of trick-or-treating takes on a sinister edge. Parents across the nation were gripped by fear, imagining razor blades hidden in apples and poisoned candy bars. This urban legend spread like wildfire, changing Halloween forever. Homemade treats? Too risky. Unwrapped candy? Absolutely not. Parents began scrutinizing every piece of candy, and some cities even canceled Halloween altogether. Number 7. Mischief Night. Just when you thought Halloween couldn't get any spookier, there was a night dedicated to tricks before treats. What if we told you that toilet paper and eggs were once as much a part of Halloween as candy corn? Welcome to the chaotic world of Mischief Night. Celebrated on October 30th, the night before Halloween, Mischief Night was a time when youth engaged in pranks and mild vandalism. It was a tradition with deep roots, tracing back to ancient Celtic festivities associated with Samhain. But in the 1970s, it took on a life of its own. Picture this: toilet paper streaming from trees, eggs splattering on houses, and smashed pumpkins littering the streets. These were just a few of the shenanigans that marked Mischief Night. It was a time when youthful rebellion met holiday spirit, resulting in a mix of harmless fun and property damage. Communities were divided on how to handle this tradition. Some saw it as harmless pranks, while others viewed it as destructive vandalism. As one source notes, by the late 1800s in America, outhouse tipping and vegetable uprooting between neighbors were common practices on Halloween, showing how deep-rooted this mischievous spirit was. Number 8. Eggs and shaving cream. While some traditions faded, others took a messier turn. What if we told you that breakfast staples and grooming products became weapons of choice for Halloween tricksters? The 1970s saw a slimy revolution in holiday hijinks. Eggs and shaving cream were the stars of this messy mayhem. Teens would hurl eggs at houses and cars, leaving a sticky mess behind. Shaving cream became the go-to for creating chaos, especially on Mischief Night, the eve of Halloween. These simple items packed a punch when it came to pranks. For many teenagers, the appeal lay in the thrill of rebellion and the camaraderie of shared mischief. It was a way to push boundaries and leave their mark on the holiday. Number 9. A KidCentric Holiday. As communities cleaned up the last of the shaving cream, a new Halloween was taking shape. Gone were the days of romantic fortune-telling and matchmaking games. The 1970s saw Halloween morph into something entirely different. What sparked this change, and how did it impact family traditions across America? By the 1970s, Halloween had transformed into a family-centric holiday, with activities and events specifically designed for children. School parties and community trick-or-treating became the norm, replacing the earlier adult-oriented celebrations. This shift reflected changing family dynamics and cultural values as parents sought safe and enjoyable ways to celebrate with their kids. Halloween parties for children became commonplace, often featuring games, costumes, and themed treats. These gatherings fostered a sense of community and family bonding, bringing neighborhoods together in a way that hadn't been seen before. The focus on kid-friendly activities marked a significant departure from Halloween's earlier associations with romance and matchmaking. Number 10. Annual viewing. The 1970s ushered in yet another shift in Halloween traditions. Remember gathering around the TV with your family, eagerly awaiting that special once-a-year Halloween program? What made these annual broadcasts so magical, and why did they become such an integral part of the spooky season? As families settled in for the evening, a new Halloween ritual was taking shape. Annual TV specials became a beloved tradition, bringing a touch of spooky charm right into our living rooms. Shows like It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and The Halloween That Almost Wasn't captured the imagination of viewers young and old alike. These Halloween specials weren't just entertainment. They were shared experiences that brought families and communities together. Imagine the excitement of waiting all year to see your favorite characters dressed up in costumes, solving mysteries, or embarking on ghostly adventures. It was a magical time when everyone tuned in at the same moment, creating a sense of connection across the country. Number 11. Blindfolded Terror. Speaking of communal experiences, there was another Halloween tradition that brought people together in an entirely different way. Can you imagine a party game that relied on touch rather than sight? These eerie activities were once the highlight of every Halloween bash, but their disappearance might surprise you. Blindfolded games were all the rage at 1970s Halloween parties, adding an extra layer of spookiness to the festivities. Imagine the thrill of reaching into a dark box, feeling something slimy, and trying to guess what it could be. Popular games included variations of apple bobbing and pin the hat on the witch, all played without the benefit of sight. These games weren't just about fun. They tapped into our primal fears and created a truly eerie atmosphere. The darkness and uncertainty heightened the suspense, making even simple activities feel thrilling. For children and adults alike, these games provided a psychological rush, blending anticipation with the unknown. Number 12. Haunted houses in old mansions. Speaking of tapping into primal fears, there was one Halloween tradition that pushed the boundaries of fright even further. What if I told you that the scariest haunted houses of the 70s weren't in amusement parks, but in actual abandoned buildings? The story behind these makeshift attractions might surprise you. Before commercial haunted houses became the norm, thrill seekers found their scares in old, abandoned mansions and buildings right in their own neighborhoods. These makeshift haunted houses were the real deal, often steeped in local legends and ghost stories that added an extra layer of authenticity to the experience. Imagine walking through creaky floorboards of an actual abandoned house, where every shadow and sound could be more than just your imagination. These community-driven attractions relied on creativity and local resources, creating a unique atmosphere that felt both familiar and terrifyingly strange. Number 13. School costume contests. From community haunts to classroom frights, Halloween spirit was everywhere in the 70s. But there was one school tradition that had students' creativity reaching new heights. What made these events so special that their disappearance left a void in modern Halloween celebrations? The answer lies in the beloved school Halloween costume contests. Picture the excitement buzzing through the hallways as students prepared for weeks, crafting unique outfits to showcase their imagination. These contests weren't just about dressing up, they were a celebration of creativity and school spirit. Kids would raid their parents' closets, repurpose household items, and add personal touches to create one-of-a-kind costumes. Popular themes often reflected the era's entertainment, with characters from hit TV shows and movies making frequent appearances. The thrill of walking into school in a handmade costume was unmatched, and the anticipation of the contest was a highlight of the year. It wasn't just about winning, it was about coming together as a school community to celebrate Halloween in style.